I've got some more slop for us today. Look, I have often appreciated Blumhouse's gumption of low-budget, high-reward cinema. I've mentioned it time and time again. It's given us some absolute art like Whiplash, Get Out, Black Klansman, then a bunch of just really solid horror movies that are just great or very fun, like Happy Death Day, Insidious, Sinister, Split, Ouija 2, The Mike Flanagan Boogaloo, Upgrade, Mithrigan. But they've also produced some of the most dog-water bad movies I've ever seen, like Green Inferno and Dashcam. But I'll even appreciate that over the boring trash they've been putting out lately. If someone said that they were on a mission to take irrational childhood fears and turn those into movies that run the risk of boring people to death so they could turn around and make that into a movie based on the phenomenon, I wouldn't be surprised. A lame killer pool and a basement teddy bear? We've already talked about the pool, so that means today we have Imaginary on the docket. No, not that one, though I am sure they wanted the name Imaginary before Blumhouse beat them to the punch, though it looks like total dog shit too, but no, the other Imaginary movie. And I'm kind of upset about it. Normally, if I see a horror movie that I think is a bit boring, I can usually still find something to enjoy, some props to give the whole thing, or at least I can see where the appeal would be for other people. But this, they truly outdid themselves with the slop. At least with Night Swim, I can see like, okay, here are the areas that this could be better. They either steer so hard into being ridiculous, or they go into the kind of like raunchy teen, violent, bloody horror comedy type thing. And they did neither of those, but at least I could see in it. This is just bad. One of my friends went to a press screening in New York and said that people just started having conversations because it's that boring. This is the kind of movie that's so boring that once things actually started happening, my brain was already done and did not care. And I love a good slow burn. This isn't that. It's just bad. And it's not even a fun bad. I can handle fun bad. I actually like fun bad quite a bit, as you can see across different things on this channel. But you know what? I sat my ass through this video and something has to come from it, so you're getting a video. Real quick though, I do want to shout out the fact that there are some very good and very creative horror movies coming out that even if they aren't something that you specifically end up enjoying, I'm still very happy that they exist. They're great. Like I Saw the TV Glow, a really fun kind of like more thriller still horror coming to Netflix. I don't know when. It's What's Inside. Love Lies Bleeding was a really good horror adjacent movie. Immaculate wasn't perfect, but it was significantly better than anything they attempted here, and that final shot is wild. Presence is a super creative one coming from Soderbergh that used a basement song. Your Monster was really fun on like the more comedy side of the horror. But today all I have to present to you is this shit from the man who brought us Truth or Dare and Fantasy Island, which were at least serviceable movies to some extent, but now we are just getting non-stop crap like Imaginary. The story of a woman trying to earn the trust and love of her new stepkids, moving the whole gang into her childhood house where the youngest daughter Alice gets swept up in a new imaginary friend named Chauncey that she found sealed off in the basement. But you know what won't make you feel like you're sealed off in a basement? Today's sponsor, Surfshark. Surfshark VPN lets you connect to one of their thousands of different server locations, so that's where your internet thinks you are. Say you want to watch literally any other movie than this one, but oh no, the universe has decided to trap you in a dimension where this is the only movie that's available for you to watch on your streaming service. Well, all you'll have to do to bamboozle this little nightmare is pop on Surfshark VPN, connect to a Japanese server, because apparently imaginary friends are less common in Japan, and you can watch Stand By Me, a significantly better look at childhood trauma growing up, and their real friends are better than a stupid bear. I'm constantly using Surfshark to unlock access to movies that just aren't being streamed where I live, or to save myself from having to pay for 30 different streaming services just so I can watch La La Land no matter where I'm traveling when I decide I want to cry. And with Surfshark, you can too. Well, not the crying part, hopefully, but the unlocking your content part. No matter where you are, Surfshark is there to help with access, protecting you on public Wi-Fi, and even just making sure the services you're already paying for work no matter where you are. So try out Surfshark for yourself. It's fast, secure, blocks unwanted ads, and if you use code JEDI at the link below or by scanning the QR code, you can get up to 3 additional months totally free. Alright, well let's just hop into this stupid thing. So we start with the woman crashing through a door, terrified, bloody hands with weird writing on the wall while apologizing for not being able to finish the game before getting attacked by her father, who has his spider monster just bust out of him. So honestly, a little bit at first here, I was like, okay, that's kind of a good start until like the spider monster thing. Then it was kind of like, well, you've showed the thing, and now I'm not as scared of the thing, but like that was a good solid intro there, and then she just gets teleported to this weird long hallway with doors that open up to a young girl that she's trying to make wake up before the monster comes in and eats her. And then she wakes up and it was all just a recurring horrible nightmare. Goody! What foreshadowing will you bring us today, Dream? But this is Jessica, apparently a child author currently working on Molly the Millipede. Absolutely the fuck not. Too many little legs. Like, I know there are a lot of bug kids out there, but absolutely not. No, spiders fine, ants okay, millet and centipedes disgusting. Never talk to me about that fucking giant peach. They just look so gross and slimy and wet. I swear I'm fine. There's just this very interesting effect that when I sit down and watch something that bores me so much, this is raw, and I'm ready to smack down. I'm sorry. So Jessica here is marrying this dude who has 2 kids, and apparently there is some stress with the ex-wife, and the kids obviously aren't super jazzed on stepmommy. So first you're like, yeah, that's fine, that seems normal, but you kind of learn that the mom isn't very well and probably severely injured the youngest daughter, Alice, because her arm is completely burned and scarred. But hey, Jessica seems to have some matching arm scars here, so that's like some kind of like, ooh, they're connected. So they kind of have a decent little relationship going on, but the teenage daughter, Taylor, does not like her at all, which absolutely makes sense for the age. She also probably feels like the dad abandoned their mother in a time of need.
He's icky. You should kill him.
Exactly, little one. Not good is a very bad time. But then, as so many of these stories go, a strange disembodied voice starts to lure Alice to the basement, and she actually goes.
Hello?
Turn around, back up the stairs. What is this, Jumanji? Is it just pulling you down there? And sealed off in a wall, a very normal place for it to be, is a little teddy bear.
Do you have a name? Chauncey? I like that.
Oh, goody! And just so we know that this is the same place from the nightmare Jessica's been having, they show us the smiley flower sticker on the door. Wow!
We can still play if you...
I found someone else to play with.
Oh, shit. Well, that was very intense. That's a great sign right there. Not sure why Jessica isn't concerned that she doesn't recognize the bear, considering this was her childhood home and no one has lived in it since her dad was sent to the hospital. Whatever. No time for that. There's a creepy lady in the yard.
Old Bag Patterson?
Oh, good. She has a fun little name. Oh, yeah. Don't worry about it. That's just Old Bag Patterson. Totally harmless. We just all hate her.
She tried to buy your house.
Yeah, well, she can have it.
But no time to deal with teenage D-Gen love. We are back to the demon child, and she's playing hide and seek with a new friend, Chauncey.
Just listen for his rumble tummy. He's always hungry.
Oh, no, not hungry. I'm going to spoil things a little bit for you right now. Actually, I should have mentioned that this is a very spoiler-filled video, so if you don't want that, just know I didn't think it was good. Yeah, I thought this thing was gonna go on an eating rampage. It did not. We will get there. This was probably one of the only remotely tense moments in this entire movie because Jessica actually hears something moving around, then just gets fake out jump scared by the kid under the bed, but they make sure to let us know that Chauncey was under there too. Like a perf. Now at first they all think this is a good thing, that Alice is coming out of her shell after everything that happened with her mom. Apparently she starts talking to the imaginary friend about the Molly the Millipede book, who apparently also runs down hallways filled with doors and is always being chased, so it's like her nightmare was her being put into her own story. But I guess Chauncey points out that maybe the person chasing her isn't trying to hurt her, but he's just trying not to lose her.
Is that why he chases her through all those doors? He misses his friend?
Foreshadowing! But hey, it's all Jessica needed to just bust those creative juices wide open for her sequel, Daddy Becomes a Goodie. Now the weird stuff really starts happening when Chauncey seems to be making Alice do this weird scavenger hunt that starts innocent enough, but will definitely get much worse. Not yet though, the only thing this movie really seems to enjoy doing is bait switching actual scares. This time though, it was actually creepy. I lied about the hide and seek scene. I think this is actually the creepiest scene in the movie. Jessica walks in on Alice having a little tea party and suddenly tries to record from outside the door before a woman's figure jumps back out of the way.
She says he's right behind you.
That one time I was like, oh shit, okay, a little creepy. Especially when this movie got like so dark and couldn't be lit properly even in a fully dark room, so I couldn't actually tell if there was something that was there to jump scare her. For the record, there absolutely was. She turns around, nothing seems to be there, and then this woman just dives at her, and it's not a spirit or anything. It's apparently their mom escaped from the hospital, who somehow got all the way to their house even though they moved.
There's something here.
Well, she's not wrong, but I'm sure they're not going to listen to the woman who just escaped from a hospital. But I feel like they're really just not dealing with this whole mentally disturbed mother thing here. It really feels like they were just using that to create a similarity between Jessica, who lost her mother to cancer as a young child and had something happen to her arm, and then we find out that her dad kind of lost his mind and ended up in a hospital, and then Alice, who's now also lost her mom to mental illness and is also dealing with the trauma that the mom clearly caused some kind of incident to severely burn her arm. Oh well, honestly, it kind of feels like there's little sprinklings of things that they might have been planning to set up some kind of sequel that I hope they don't get. Yeah, I have a hunch that they're not gonna get it. Oh well!
Auntie, protect Alice. Auntie, love Alice.
Oh, I don't like that. I do actually think it's kind of cool that they're using the kid's voice to like talk for the imaginary friend. I don't like that it doesn't seem to be able to craft sentences, but they are finally setting up for shit to go down. The dad's gotta go on tour because he's a cool guy musician, so he just like leaves because they're like, oh yeah, things are going better. The mom just escaped from a hospital and attacked someone. It's a little tense, but sure, you can just leave. And the second he goes, old Bag Patterson shows up because apparently she was Jessica's babysitter all those years ago, and Jessica just doesn't remember, and there's definitely something weird going on with her. She says she's also an author, but nothing like the way Jessica writes. Shouldn't have the same level of imagination. But Baggy Patterson here reveals that Jessica also used to have an imaginary friend too before she had to move away after the death of her mother and her father became unwell.
Sometimes had me convinced that he was real.
Oh, goody, she's in on it. That's why she wanted to buy the damn house. But she's definitely focused on getting some kind of reaction out of Jessica because she's very annoyed when Alice bothers them for food.
What I don't love is when they get so violent.
Chauncey's hungry too. Maybe he'll eat you for lunch.
They keep teasing the eating. We better get some beer gobbling. I swear I don't seek out violence. But after this little rendezvous with Baggy Poo, I'm so sorry, she decides to visit her dad in the hospital after it's mentioned that he had been reading all her books.
How could you just change?
So no real details here on what happened. He's clearly not mentally well, but she blames him for some sudden shift in his behavior. But it's not until she mentions that she moved into their old house that he freaks out about how she disappeared as a kid.
Stop it talking to CB.
Always talking to CB. Is Chauncey's last name Bartholomew? Do Jessica and Alice have the same imaginary friend from the same house? Yeah, probably.
Jessica can be forgetful sometimes.
But back at the house, weird things are happening. The scavenger hunt has led Alice to start picking bug traps to prove she's brave to Chauncey, and once she's finished all the tasks, Chauncey will take her to where he's from. Oh no. So I'm betting that's what happened to Jessica as a kid, but she escaped and doesn't remember or like came close to being taken, and that's what affected the dad and why he shifted so suddenly, but we'll see. While Jessica's out of the house, Taylor's obviously invited the neighbor boy over, and he really is a total degen. He is instantly rude to the sister. I know a lot of people will rag on their younger siblings and probably really hate them. They're usually pretty firm on the fact that other people can't do that to their little siblings, but Taylor just lets it fly. Taylor, who's been so caring only to Alice the entire movie, I just don't buy it. Then he pulls out just a bag of pills. So they're all set to have a rager to watching warm bodies. I feel like that's one I should cover. Let me know. It feels like they just invited him over to fuck up as much shit as possible in like 5 minutes because he instantly goes for the dad's liquor cabinet, drops an entire bottle, just real little shit, and I feel like Chauncey's gonna lay this fucker out.
I know. I don't like him either. Maybe you should eat him.
Oh yeah, he's gonna die. The boy's clearly not the brightest. After hearing a disembodied voice, he just decides to go take a piss, and a little pull string music toy thing starts playing. Instead of just looking to where the string would be going, he actually just follows the string until he gets jump scared and pisses on himself. And then it's gone.
Be cool. You're just tripping.
Here I am waiting for something to finally happen. There's a creepy figure behind him. The pull string keeps appearing on the floor and just jumping around, and he follows it like a dumbass before it's like a little RC car. It's like Toy Story when they go after Sid. But I'm thinking, okay, we're about to get a payoff. But no, after all that, he doesn't even get eaten. Just a quick little jump scare bear. And then it turns out he wasn't even tripping.
I'm sorry, this isn't Molly. This is my allergy medicine.
Okay, that one was unironically good. That was an intentional joke, and it landed. There was like one other of these, I think literally at the very end of the movie. A lot of people did find this movie funny. I actually found it too boring to be funny in the areas it was unintentionally being goofy. That was a good bit. That was a good bit.
Amanda, stop talking shit about Chauncey.
Oh well. On top of all that, it looks like Alice is starting to mess with Jessica's art too, and instead of getting mad, she just uses it as another chance to explain their similarities, like her dad got sick just like Alice's mom did, and he hurt her one night too. And she's doing a really good job offering up the emotional support until...
I thought because of what was taken from me that I could never be a good mom.
Maybe you just don't call yourself mom just yet. Like, I know you love them and she cares about you, but like, their mom is still alive. Doesn't really matter though, because she's not talking to Alice. She's outside messing with rusty nails.
Promise it won't hurt?
Oh my god, she's gonna butterfly effect the nail. She's gonna butterfly effect her hand on the nail. Okay, before we get to that though, Jessica takes a closer look at the scavenger list, and the one she's on literally says something that hurts.
Promise it won't hurt?
Alice, it literally says it has to hurt. What do you even mean, girl? Okay, yeah, he's currently making her see it as a flower to make it easier to do, but that kind of, it's just like, you know it's gonna hurt because that's what whatever. Oh god, creepy being in the hallway, no! If they had actually just focused a little bit more on that creepy thing in the hallway and actually like lit the scenes properly in other moments so that you could always tell that there was a creepy thing in the hallway when there was, like, this probably would have been more effective, but no, instead we just get stupid bear. Thankfully Jessica gets down there in time to stop it from happening, and they do the sensible thing and call a child psychologist.
Chauncey need Alice be brave. Only Chauncey love Alice.
Why does it talk like a barbarian? Why doesn't it know sentences? Chauncey think why use lot word when you do trick. This just leads to a full meltdown because they're actually having an argument, and the therapist is just like, okay, Alice, sweetie, let's just like put a hold there and let's unpack that statement you just made.
Fake mommy mean. Fake mommy will leave.
All this is really just adding to the fire that Jessica was this thing's original friend, then disappeared, and now it's mad. But another primo scene here. The therapist clearly hears Chauncey talking without Alice's lips moving.
I heard you and your 3 ugly granddaughters.
That's not the good part though. Wait for it.
Has Sally's taken up any new hobbies lately? Between quiz.
Oh god, it's so good. But it's time to bust open the mystery. Apparently Alice mentioned something called the Never Ever being where Chauncey wanted to take her, and earlier we saw Jessica's old artwork mentioning the Never Ever, so very confirmed that Jessica went through some Chauncey shit. But these are not isolated incidents, because 10 years ago she had a patient with a Riley rabbit who also hurt himself because of the imaginary friend, then disappeared. Obviously the therapist is just explaining this as some kind of like weird imaginary friend thing that has caused the child to dissociate and separate from the family and run away to who knows what end, but we all know that's not what's happening here, because it is then revealed that the bear isn't actually there. No one can see that little shit except for Jessica and Alice.
What?
There was never any bear.
Which makes sense. I always thought it was weird that the movie was called Imaginary when there was like a physical thing, because imaginary friends can't actually be there because then it's just a personified object. But that was the bamboozle. Spooky. Ignoring all that though, the therapist in logical fashion thinks that, you know, whatever happened to Jessica all those years ago has left energies around, and her own emotions, even if she's not aware that she's processing them, are just being put out there, and Alice is picking up on them and then like leaves her with a number for a colleague to call. She will never call this person because things pick up from then on, so I don't know why they even mention that. I hope to hell it's not like a sequel setup and just like unnecessary writing, but I feel like they want a sequel. And while Jessica is trying to sort out her forgotten childhood trauma, Alice is lured back to the basement to do a little ritual that clearly zaps her into another world, except they don't show that happening. And while they're trying to find her, old Baggy finds Taylor and fills her in all about what happened to Jessica as a child, pretty much confirming that she too opened up the door to another world as a child, and Baggy's become obsessed with it for all these years and learned about spirits and what imaginary friends might actually be.
You're saying Bing Bong is real.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I think they mentioned Bing Bong 3 times in this movie. So basically what they're setting up here is that Jessica, being abruptly taken away from the house as a child, left this entity hungering for her wild imagination, and then it became malevolent. But she was already drawing pictures of it being kind of evil, and it was trying to kidnap her, so I'm pretty sure it was always at least a little bit malevolent. And now it's just angry too?
Bing Bong is bad?
Shut up about Bing Bong! Shut up about the Bing Bong!
Shut up about the sun!
on!
But at least everyone's on the same page now, and somehow Taylor doesn't think that Baggy is insane. They realize that the dad yelling about CB was Jessica's way of saying Chauncey Bear as a kid. I still think it's Chauncey Bartholomew, but that's fine.
That night, you begged me to come with you, and I wanted to. I wish I had.
Wait. You just let the kids you were watching wander into another realm? Oh yeah, she's in on all this. She wants the never, ever, or something. So to get back through the door, they also need to do the scavenger ritual, or benediction. And the only way to fully make it work in the end is to emotionally damage Taylor, because the physical pain wouldn't work. It turns out the thing that would hurt Jessica the most is hurting Taylor the most. And as expected, the babysitter is absolutely jazzed. She just didn't want to feel crazy anymore after all these years.
It's incredible! A kingdom of our imagination!
So happy for you. Really.
Good job, Taylor. She needed that for committing cringe. So this is obviously where the movie should be getting interesting, but I'll be damned if I could care about this too dark, poorly lit sequence of an imaginary world where there is not anything of consequence happening. I'm sorry, it probably is stuff of consequence. I just don't care anymore. It does give us a little backstory what happened with Jessica, though. The dad went through and pulled her out, and then he gets attacked trying to seal the door and looks directly into the entity's eyes, and it broke his brain by showing him the combined imagination of millions of children. Okay. Sure. The timeline is very weird though. They said that the reason why Chauncey pulled her through is because he knew that she was gonna have to move, but she didn't have to move until after her dad lost his mind, and he lost his mind the night that Chauncey tried to steal her. So yeah, I'm pretty sure he was always just a little shit planning to take her. And this is all just basically the nightmare she's been having.
Sorry I couldn't finish our game.
I'm sorry, we couldn't finish our game.
It's okay! It's okay!
And yeah, the babysitter's been in on it. I guess the entity can just communicate with adults from far too. God, this is fucking dumb, but at least it eats her.
We'll be happy here forever.
Finally, something happened. We have been delivered something we have been promised the entire movie, the eating. You can't tell me a thing is so hungry all the time and then not show it eat things. So I guess all these doors just open into different little realities or imaginations, and like Taylor ends up getting bullied by Chauncey.
Chauncey's coming for you.
Chauncey's coming for you. Obviously, it all ends up fine. They get to Alice, who has everything she's ever wanted, including her mother, who's no longer sick. But apparently just painting blue things on the wall and using your imagination can open up a portal out of the realm, and it doesn't take much convincing to get Alice to go. So, you know, it seems like everyone made it out happily ever after.
You showed me I didn't need Chauncey. I'm strong on my own, Mom.
Okay, that immediately felt weird to me, and thankfully that was on purpose, and Jessica also realized that. This was a bait and switch. They're still trapped, or she's still trapped. Probably one of the only effective moments in the entire movie. They're like one of the few moments I was like, oh, that was a good idea, except then I realized that was just extending out the runtime if they were still trapped there, and that the movie wasn't going to be ending yet. But thankfully it was still barely an inconvenience to get out, except there is a little bit of a struggle with the spider version monster of Chauncey before Alice overcomes her fear of fire and lights it all up. And Jessica just decides it's best to let the entire place burn, all of her child memories, including that little shit Chauncey. Oh good, so now those kids lose their mom, the home they had before, the home they just barely started adjusting to, and all of their belongings. Goody! So it all seems like it's gonna end with them getting a hotel while waiting for the next steps before they see the ears of a bear.
Rufus ran off on his own.
Sure you did, sweetheart. Come on, let's go sit.
Should we try the next hotel?
Great idea.
Yeah, okay, that was like a pretty solid way to end things off, except that little bear might actually be a malevolent spirit too.
Rufus is getting hungry.
Imaginary friends don't get hungry, sweetie.
He's not imaginary.
Yup, there's Chauncey in his little red shirt. It's so stupid. I hate it. If it gets a sequel, it better be by someone who actually knows how to write effective horror or horror comedy. I know Jeff kind of has it in him. He's done some good stuff before, but like literally anything but this. I hate it so much. The bear's not even scary. Wait, what is... Hi guys, the whole video was actually just a joke. I think that this is the best movie of the year. Not just the best horror movie of the year, it's the best movie of the year. I liked it even more than Madam Web. It was really good, and you should all watch it right now. Honestly, that was a dumb bit, but I still feel the need to clarify that that was a dumb bit and make sure you don't watch this movie because it's not good. But thank you all so much for watching. Let me know what you guys are thinking in the comment section down below. If you did like this, that's great. I saw a lot of people say they had fun watching it in like a group because of how like absurd it was. And I feel like, yeah, maybe if I had watched it with a group of people that were laughing, that would have been better, but it's not effective at anything it's trying to be. And sometimes that can work out in something's favor. This did not do that for me. Make sure to actually keep an eye out for some of those movies that I mentioned at the beginning of the video. A lot of them are smaller, indie, or they're just going to be getting limited runs, and they really deserve the support because they're very good. But thanks again so much for watching. Thanks as always to my Patreon supporters and YouTube channel members. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Leave a like on the video if you're into that kind of thing. All my social medias are also listed down below. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. I'm mostly okay, and we'll catch you all later.